Good morning and Namaste. Welcome to Namaste Today and the Zodiac Weather. My name is Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. Such a pleasure to light walk by your side today. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions on the beautiful icy temple of Gaia on Wednesday, January 28th, 2015. And I've chosen this beautiful winter scene, particularly the edge of this glacier here, because we have reached now an edge of our own consciousness. We're now at step 8, Aquarius, and we'll be defining some of our edges today by making some decisions. I'll be talking about that in the Sensei Sunrise and the architecture of what a decision is in consciousness and how it kind of holds and what shape it takes. But be mindful today that we are letting go of something just like a glacier will let go of its sides. And not to sidestep here for a second, but, speaking to global warming, if you want to see the glaciers, you might want to go ahead and plan that cruise first. They are definitely melting at this point. And I was thinking before the show, how unfortunate that is, how we're going to have to see as humans that we are connected to the environment. But this is a big moment for us to realize that we are spiritually connected. It has a great effect, the environment. But I wonder also what the Earth is going to be like without ice cubes at the top. I mean, we've always had ice cubes in the drink, so it's not going to be as cool as it has been. And I wonder what emotional consciousness is frozen up there that's now melting. So in a weird sense, as we are becoming more aware as humans, we're literally releasing more psychic energy, which is in the form of water. Water holds the psychic energy on the planet, and I think there's probably frozen psychic energy in there that's constantly being released back into the ocean. So in a way, this is maybe the way Mother Earth begins to set up for creating new species. It's like, here's our future being erased if we're not careful as well, because it's from this water that new species would rise that wouldn't take over the planet. But I'll just say my 2 cents, I think, on the environment real quick, because it kind of bugs me when I hear everything on TV. I think a lot of the mass media is designed to get everyone into an argument about whether or not humans are affecting the environment. But to me, it's a very simple equation. Human respect is simple. You leave the earth the way you found it. It's that simple. So if you didn't find it with all sorts of pollutants in the air, if you didn't find it with pollutants in the water, if you didn't find it with just, oil dripping out of the side of that oil well, then before you die, you must return it back to the state that you found it. That's respect. Who cares whether or not it's leading to temperature or not? That's my 2 cents. So today we're making some decisions, and Aquarius energy is kind of those high environmental, national geographic decisions in our life, the big picture decisions, although we're in chapter 1 of making that decision. So in essence, this decision is usually what we do not want anymore. And we're in the Aquarius consciousness, so when we talk about want, we talk about belonging, where our heart feels it belongs or doesn't belong. The other interesting little piece of this picture is Aquarius is the ice king or ice queen inside of us. Once we make a decision in Aquarius, it usually does define us pretty sharply. It becomes a sharp edge of our character because it becomes one that defines our unique personality and who we really are. So we belong with with what our heart desires, and so therefore wherever we end up belonging is a crystallization of what our heart wants. And this is the hard part for people. The hard part for people is exposing their heart by letting that define their personality, exposing what their heart's into or their eccentricities. And this is why Aquariuses at large are very uncomfortable in their own skin, I find, because they're trying to allow themselves to be comfortable with all these different edges. So today we're going to define at least one of our edges, but before we do, let's first prepare our brain with the phrase of the day. I know who I am, so I am ready to decide. So when you come to any kind of work, this is what you say to inside your mind. I know who I am, so I'm ready to decide. Now, if you say, I know who I am, and something in your heart goes, you know what I mean? I would stop and meditate on that feeling. Like, what's that? What is that about? And get that out of there. Because you want to say, I know who I am. And if you don't know who you are, well then obviously you're not ready to decide, and you have to do that meditation. You have to go back, rinse and repeat, and meditate on that a few times. at least about this issue. You don't have to know everything in your future, but you have to know who you are right now in this moment, who you want to be right now in this moment, and that is really the defining principle of our character, is who we are and who we want to be in the next moment. So I know who I am, and so I am ready to decide. And so it is. I thought so. So today, the Sirius step today is step 8. We're 8 degrees into the Aquarius vibration, and that means today's ruling state is Saturn or Capricorn or I decide, or step 8. The sharp part of us, the part of us that prunes energy away, actually. And, this is where people get confused in manifestation. A lot of people say, shouldn't there not be a negative in a statement? And the truth of the matter is no, we're sculpting in 3D reality. You must tell reality when to stop. You must say where it stops. If you don't, it just keeps going. It's consciousness. Now, as it keeps going creatively, right? So we must define our edges. We must say, do this and stop here, do this and stop there. This is what gives us shape. And today we're in a shape building day. So let's take a look at the colors and how our chakras will add to the consciousness. For starters, we are in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, entering into it. And so our crown chakra is lit up, but Aquarius is our map making. It is sort of our God satellite positioning service. It connects us to where we are in the context of the entire universe. And today, with step 8 ruling, that means our indigo is lit up. And this is the back of the third eye, and the back of the third eye is when we make a decision and we adjust our vision and where we're heading. So with all of this very much light, bouncy air energy, definitely want to do some breath work through your root chakra or hit the gym or exercise. The more you ground, the more profound your experiences will be actually at this time. The more you ground, the more profound. If you don't ground, it will be out of this world, man. Now, emotions are a big part of our decision. We actually make decisions from our feelings. When we want to bring our feelings to a new level, you need to know where a decision is going to be, how you're going to feel before the decision, how you're going to feel after the decision. And if you process how you're going to feel before and after, you've done the necessary work for the third chakra, and you might want to do a few breaths there as well. And of course, if you are in any doubt, just fill your heart with love and open up your crown, bring some light there. When you are in your heart, you are naturally led by your crown. Very simple. When you're in your heart, you're naturally led by your crown. So if you're not having fun, you're not in your heart. It's that simple, and they do go hand in hand, which means that if a church is really doing well, I believe, everyone in that church is having a hard time not busting out laughing and making noise, because having fun means that your soul is out there having fun. So let's take a look now at the cosmic clock. Here we are, and it is just a little bit after 11, so to speak, in our cosmic clock. We're at step 8, tick-tocking away through Aquarius, and Aquarius is our belonging. And here in the first decan of the consciousness, step 8 reveals what we don't want anymore. And usually this is 9 days in the transit, so we're ready now we've gotten a taste of what this consciousness is, and we're starting to figure out whether we want it or not. However, our mind will not be made up. That's because Mercury is retrograde and will be for a while. Today at step 12, meaning we are reconsidering, meaning the retrograde, reconsidering some sort of belief we have about the way it should be. So the lickety part of it, the part that could go different is the shoulds behind yourself. Like, well, I should be this way or it should be that way. And instead of arguing between it should be this way or it should be that way, ask yourself, who came up with these shoulds? Go one level deeper. That's what the retrograde, I think, is trying to pull out. And the moon is in 2 stages today. The first half of the day, it wraps up in Taurus, so we're going to emotionally feel like we're putting an end to the last 3 or 4 days. Incidentally, last 3 or 4 days, I've been in a coma. All this Pisces energy up there in the corner with Venus it just pulled me into my sleep, and I've just been doing a lot of spiritual work in my sleep. If you find yourself extremely tired out of nowhere, don't second guess that. Listen to your body. It might need to be connecting, and we do need to let go of lower vibrations. which, honestly, sleep is the best way to do it. When you sleep, your body, your whole life relaxes, your soul can ascend gently, and it's what God built into the system to keep all the sprouts happy. So make sure you're getting sleep, especially if you're tired. I myself felt like a bear in hibernation, crawling out like, what day is it? Not what time. So today we're finishing up that grog of the last 3 days of the moon in Taurus, and then the moon moves into Gemini. So I think the second half of the day is like going to be very sharp, and suddenly electrons bouncing, conversations happening, people text messaging, the system finally working. And so you'll see like a two-part day. Obviously wrap up your decision making, in the first half of the day, but you may need that energetic second half of the day to actually make up your mind. You might need when the moon goes in Gemini, and here's why. Because the moon is opposing Saturn once it does. So the rest of the day is this tug-of-war of emotions in Gemini, which is our thoughts and feelings about one thing, or the third chakra about one thing, and then on the other side is Saturn. Right? And Saturn's now at step 3. This is the voice shoulding under everything. Remember, Mercury's at step 12, adding to a 3. I think this is the 3 that Mercury is thinking about, the shoulds. And Saturn in Sagittarius really is a deep exploration of what should we do. And I've said the last time Saturn was in Sagittarius was 1986 at this degree. So you can think back to where your thinking was in 86 and then where your thinking was in 89 and what the difference was. It doesn't matter what the reason was, that made your mind expand. That was just the way God did it last time. This time, there'll be a new fun way in which everything expands. But the point is that the shoulding of us is kind of like when, we're young, we're saying we should do this and we should do that. Then we go to church and we see how it really is. And we're like, hey, wait a minute. And so that's kind of what this moment is, caught in that moment of, hey, wait a minute and whatnot. So today it's about making decisions. And let's give you a little advice on the consciousness of decisions here in the Sensei Sunrise. Yes, I actually take drinks. I shoot this whole thing back to back in preparation. It is step 8 day, time to decide. And like sculpting in ice, our decisions will leave behind the shape of our soul. Climbing the conscious ladder, we're now at step 8. And the moon will be in Gemini. And truly, I think people won't be fully ready to decide whatever it is until the moon goes into Gemini. That's because when thoughts and feelings will come together, you may not have a quote decision about life or what you're working on today until tonight, or it may not feel right until tomorrow after you've had a chance to sleep on it, right? So that's a good thing too. The point is that consciousness is ready to split off now, and we're ready to focus on what's left. That's how a decision really works. 8 is I decide. It's the 8th state of awareness, and in the 8th state, we basically pay attention to everything where we have intersected things and not intersected things. And there's a consciousness in our RAM that does nothing but look at the intersections. The intersections turn into the shape of the soul human molecule, so to speak. But we are at one of these tiny little intersections. And at this intersection, we're really deciding what we want to cut away. We can't grow everything. There's only so much sunlight in a given time and day. And you can always reincarnate another day. And you can always manifest tomorrow something else. So we have to make some decisions about where our energy goes. And today, we're basically pruning our own awareness in that sense. So a decision is an incision where the 8 is broke apart. And now there will not be this relationship in your consciousness between these two sides. It does mean you turn your back completely on whatever it is you're leaving behind. Turning your back means that you wish it well, send it love and protection, and send it no more thoughts, energies, or energy unless you decide to reunite 2 zeros. And incidentally, if you're wondering about whether or not we're deciding to unite 2 zeros right now, no, that would be in the 3rd deck, and you want to do that once we're in our step 20s and higher. 26 is that final decision. So today, this is an incision in consciousness to separate the zeros, and we're going to act on the top 0 and dismiss the bottom 0. And tomorrow, we act on that 0. That's really tomorrow's work. And then tomorrow we'll jump into it. So today in the 1111, for those in the Sirius Joy Network, I'm going to text you what is most important to you in a decision. Every soul is born with like a natural need to make sure something is covered in their decision making. And if you want to go in the karma of it, it's because you screwed up before in a past life in this area. So you tend to obsess about this one little point. So I will text you, what's that point you tend to obsess on? And the reason why I want you to know it is because get past it and make sure you're actually dealing with today. A lot of people get caught up in that obsessed point. And then at 3:03 p.m. your local time, I will text you how many days before you're actually having to commit. So I'll give you how long you have before the order has to be into the chef, aka creator. And so that'll give you some ease about today's decision as well. All that more will be in your Sirius Joy Network and Personal Sensei service today. And I'll give you guys some details on how you can sign up for a 2-month trial right after this.
Can't find love? That day is over. With just 8 numbers, we can reveal all your secrets to sex and love. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out the secret to your heart at secretsofbirthdays.com.
And here we are back at the soulmart.me trading post. A couple items we now have for trade in the post. For one, the Sirius Joy Academy are a series of web videos and classes we have coming out to help you stand in your Sirius Joy. There is a formula to it. My next adventure is this Sunday, a class on reading relationship charts. We do have a seat or 2 left. If you want to bring your chart to class and on camera, we'll discuss you and someone else. Details are available at soulmart.me. Also, our first children's online webinar is Superhero Children's Training Program, taught by Alexis Ann Moore, a local mother and teacher in Texas. She has created a program that plants the seeds of self-awareness. So this is a great way for children using modern physics and technology and all sorts of cool science and philosophy to understand their relationship between them and other people, and that what they say and do has an effect, etc. It's really remarkable and doing very well. Find out more at soulmart.me. And I've been talking about it. This is the Sirius Joy Personal Sensei service, which we're going to be doing a 2-month beta period. And if you'd like to get on board, you'll get text messages for 2 months for just $39.95, one-time fee. These text messages are based specifically on your personal issues and karma. And I'll be programming in a 40-day kind of ascension program based on your own spiritual weaknesses in the middle of the week, in the middle of this trial program. So really, if your gut wants to do this, listen to your gut right now. It's not that much money, and it is actually a great time. Everyone who's in bed in this service loves it. And to be honest, it makes it hard because I'm writing these myself, and I've been writing text messages every day, or had to cover text messages for every day for nearly 3 years now. And I actually, even when I was in the hospital, made sure these things are written. So it's kind of the modern horoscope, but it's personal to you. You will love it. Check it out if you're interested. And I'm going to hold this sale through the weekend. You can buy 1 hour and get 30-minute free. This is just for $99. It's a very low price, and it's great one-on-one and MP3 recorded. If your gut is saying that you need this, definitely listen, because when we're one-on-one and we can talk, we can do so much spiritual work together. And if you want to just get your foot in the pool, step reading will give you a real clarity on how it is you step into reality and what the secrets are to stepping in your power. All that and more available at soulmart.me. So, taking our exploration and decision-making a little further, let's look at today's gong. And in the gong here, if you don't recognize this, maybe not, because you've never been on the inside of a glacier, right? This is the inside of a glacier. It's beautiful. I'd love a little house in here or something. My inner child's like, cool. A blue world, blue Superman world. So what does not belong? I mean, that's really the question you have to ask. So, you know, like in the Where's Waldo, where you're trying to find the one thing in the whole mess that is Waldo, where you belong? This is the opposite. This is looking in that Waldo scene of yours and going, no, this is not me, definitely not me, definitely not me, nah. That is how you find the shape of who you are. All the little things of what you are not. And this is where classic spirituality and crystal Witecki come to a clash. I believe there's lots of knots in ascension. Lots of knots. Lots of things you will not do. And that is not being anti-God to be not. That's saying where the buck stops in this 3D reality, right? As long as you're good in your heart, God knows it. You're good. So what you're not is very important. And if you get rid of the what did not belongs, that is that is you chiseling. And the fun part is what you're left with. The fun part is you discovering what you're left with yourself. Like, holy shit, that looks like a whatever. And that's okay. It will be very unique, and it will be like many things, because that's the way conscious is, right? Always growing. That stalagmite of new is everything we have been and more, always. And today, all you have to do is what does not belong. So we're going to talk about today in the Zodiac weather here coming up next, what you might be struggling with, what each sign might be struggling with and pulling on today. And in all of your struggling, ask yourself, what does not belong here? And make a conscious decision that you don't want to continue with that. Don't worry about how it happens. This is consciousness. The first step is changing it, and then it moves on from there. So before you go sculpting yourself into a statue, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today, and where they might feel a little struggle, okay, feeling a little pulled between. This is between the moon moving into Gemini and opposing Saturn and Sagittarius. And this will get at its climax this evening, I believe, in your local time. Scorpio, sunny and withdrawn in private today. Later on, pulled between personal limits and values or money. Okay? Personal limits and values or money. And here's the thing. Your definition of money is expanding now. So your limits are based on what? The old definition of money or the new definition of money? That's the question. Step 1, the Leo, sunny and social today, but feeling pulled between social values and what your heart's values are. Back and forth between those two. Truth is, your heart's values are changing. Just saying. Step 2 is the Cancers, cloudy and spiritual today, but feeling pulled between feelings of faith and versus the details of reality. So, truthfully, which side of that is going to change? The reality in your case, I think, is what's going to change. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and sentimental today, but feeling pulled between strength and relationships. Ego, strength, and relationships. So relationships pulling you in new ways. What's going to change for you? The ego. Step 4, the Aquarius is sunny and childlike today, but I feel being pulled between social obligations and what their heart really wants. I think that's their struggle today. No, excuse me, that's a miswrite. I'm going to write it right now. My heart told me, like, something's wrong with that. You are actually caught between your relationships and... No, this is correct. I was thinking of a different opposition. Yeah. Actually, here's your double whammy. This must be the universe is giving you an extra read today. You're caught really in an X. And that's because inside I was thinking about all of the energy in Aquarius versus Jupiter in Leo. So there is definitely an ego versus relationship struggle going on. And on top of that today, a social obligation versus what your heart really wants. That's the Saturn versus the Gemini concept of it. So here's what's going to change. Your social obligation, just so you know. Thanks for sticking with me the rest of the signs. One of the days I'll do that for y'all. Gemini, step 5, sunny and cool with the moon in their sign, but very much caught up in ego and willpower versus relationships in this opposition. The Librans, sunny and learning today, very spaced out probably, but pulled between what you think versus what you believe. All right, the two oppositions there. So what do you think is going to change there? What you think? The Pisces, sunny, nesting, and resting today are in career Mercury retrograde. Career ambition versus true feelings. And what do you think might going to change there? It's going to be the ambition. That's right. Capricorn, step 8, sunny and hyper alert of your reality and your health today. You might be, this is a day where you can, you can be a hypochondriac, so be careful. But you are pulled between reality's details and higher faith also. In your case, what's going to change? Definition of faith. Aries, sunny and pensive at step 9s. You are caught between your thoughts and what you believe. What's going to change in the future? What you believe. Step 10, the Taurus is sunny and cool today, kind of for most of the days. The moon is in their sign half the day and then moves into manifestation, which is what they do. It's a great thing about being a Taurus. You get like that double whammy because we rule the second house, so we get like 36 hours or so of great energy. Anyways, pull between what to manifest and where your personal limits are. Now here's the thing. What's going to change, Taurus? Personal limits. Virgo, sunny and professional. but probably feeling pulled between career details and emotional desires. Now, what do you think is going to change out of those two? The career or the emotional desire? Yep, it's the emotional desire. Oh, I keep doing that every day this week. I love it, though. It's a retrograde mistake. We're in the Lightwalker Parade. Chris Witecki is relearning how to use his own technology that he invented here for this. Modern Mommies is live today. Join the conversation at 7 p.m. Eastern. The ladies will be logging in on Google+. If you have a Google+ account, you can join the conversation, anyone under the sun. You either are a mommy or you had a mommy, so it kind of like includes everyone. 7 p.m. Eastern on soulgarden.tv. And we've released a new tweet talk hashtag giving and receiving. This is an old quote where I was doing a lecture on giving and receiving. So take a look at it, just kind of the deeper in the step 6 energies. And if you're on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We appreciate that. It helps us with our relationship. You can be our friend if you use Facebook, soulgarden.me. You'll go straight to Facebook, and you'll be in our Namaste Today page. I post some interesting stuff on there. And you can join our email list at soulmart.me. Oh, Freddie. And we'll be at the Conscious Life Expo coming up here in about 10 days, February 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'll be there working the table all 3 days. Come meet me, come meet us, come meet other people that are in the light and rub elbows and connect. Let's create a grid of protection for each other. We got to start by meeting each other. So come on out if you can. I'd love to meet you. Cannot say it enough. And that brings us to our rock and roll gospel. And today for Rock and Roll Gospel, because we're kind of up in the clouds and making decisions, I'm actually going to bring you back in time to the last time that Saturn was in Sagittarius in these early degrees. So I do this because you'll remember, there's nothing like a song from that time to like pull you into the headspace you're at. And that's what I'm trying to do, is help you pull in the headspace. On top of that, I get a double coupons today because this is also an Aquarius singer. And it is Billy Ocean. Remember this song, When the Going Gets Tough? When the going gets tough. He turns out is a 0-degree Aquarius, which is kind of like probably as weird as it gets Aquarius. I would say one of the weirdest Aquariuses there are is probably a 0-degree. Never met the fellow, I'm just saying. But he's part of the Generation Butterfly. And here's a whammy. Remember the Jewel of the Nile? That's when his song was released, is in this movie. I remember this. A very poor follow-up, unfortunately, of the first one, which was awesome, Romancing the Stone, which is like I think 84. But Saturn in Sagittarius, this is the Jewel of the Nile was the movie. And when going gets tough, the tough kept going. And so I thought that was a good song for today. I thought it was a good Aquarius thing. I thought it was a blast from the past last time Saturn was in Sagittarius. Basically, when this movie was out was when your last belief structure of all the shoulds were being poured. And you were making decisions then about what you should or shouldn't be. And now here you are 30 years later, and we're opening up to a new frontier. Interesting, eh? Well, I love you, my friend. I'll see you 24 hours with more. Remember, I love you. And live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.
Soul Gardeners, I am Alexis Anmore, and I am pleased to announce that Soul Garden and the Superhero Children Project are now teaming up to bring you the Superhero Children program here online at soulmart.me. The Superhero Children program is a philosophy class for children that uses science and meditation to teach self-awareness, personal responsibility, and heart-centered decision-making to children in a way that's fun and easy to grasp. And it's offered here now at soulmart.me. So to find out more about getting your child involved in this program, visit soulmart.me or click on the Modern Mommies link on soulgarden.me. I look forward to teaching your kids. Until then, live, love, be.